Do these glasses look good on me? What do you think of like the sides of these glasses? What's your vibe on the overall color of these glasses? These are all questions that you could be asking your eyewear professional, but what questions should you be asking your eyewear professional? As a licensed optician over the last 5 years, as well as the optical manager at Costco over the last 2, I believe that there are certain things that eyewear consumers should be aware of. First off, I believe that people should know where to get their glasses and what the difference is getting them different places. Second off, I know that there's a lot of different frame options, but people should also be concerned about lens materials and the lens offerings. So I want to talk about the lens offerings that you can get as an eyewear consumer. Thirdly, I want to talk about the frame style fits and what type of frames are the best frames for you. And lastly, I want to talk about the adjustments after getting your glasses and what you should expect. So first off, let's talk about where to get your pair of glasses. So I mean, there's so many different options, right? You can go online, you can go to your doctor's office, you can go to like those places in the mall like LensCrafters or Pearle Vision, or you could go to, just like a local boutique. But what really are the differences there? Did you know that 80% of the eyewear industry is monopolized by the same company? That's right, Luxottica owns the main places that you can get your glasses. They own LensCrafters, they own Sears Optical, they own Target Optical, they own Pearle Vision, they own Sunglass Hut, and the list goes on. They also might even be contracted with your local doctor's office to provide them with the eyewear. Not only do they just have places where you can get your glasses, they also are the leading manufacturer of frames. Luxottica owns many different companies, but the most popular are Oakley, Ray-Ban, and Persol. On top of that, the most disturbing fact is that they also own one of the leading eyewear insurances in the country. The second largest insurance in the country for eyewear is a company called EyeMed, and EyeMed is owned by Luxottica. So when you have EyeMed as your insurance, you can only go to places that are providers for the insurance, which include Sears Optical, Target Optical, Sunglass Hut, Pearle Vision, and so it kind of is in a vicious cycle. Now, okay, you can only go in those places, and this is a monopolized industry, but still, why does it matter? I just want a pair of glasses I want to be able to see. Well, as a consumer, you should also know that these places, like LensCrafters and Pearle Vision, cost substantially more than other places. So to illustrate that, I did a little bit of price shopping myself. I went to LensCrafters, which is, the place in the mall that you can just get your glasses the same day. I went to Luck Optical, and I also went to Costco. So LensCrafters quoted me for the same lens, the polycarbonate single vision lens with the scratch coating, the UV protection, and the anti-glare. They quoted me for the lenses $205, okay? And for the frame, I decided that I wanted to use relatively universal frame, so I chose a Ray-Ban frame, and they quoted me $230 for the frame, which brings our entire total down to $435 for a pair of glasses. Now in comparison, then I next called a boutique shop, where the lens options were a little bit less. It was $200 for the lenses at Luck Optical, the local boutique. The frames were $210 for a Ray-Ban frame, and the total, instead of $435, was $410 for the total. Lastly, I went to Costco and I got some prices there. The frames for the lenses for the single vision polycarbonate lens with all the coatings is $60 as compared to $205 and $200. The frames were $100 for Ray-Ban frames in comparison to $230 and $210, which brings your total at Costco, which I'm not trying to tell you to shop at Costco, but to $160 as opposed to $435 and $410. That's about 2.5 times less than the boutique and 3 times less than the place in the mall. So you might want to consider, for your own pocketbook, where you go to shop for glasses before you get your next pair of glasses. The next thing I want to go over are the lens options. What can you get for your lenses? Lenses are the most important thing because they're really what make you see. So there's a few different types of lens materials that you can go with. You can go with a basic value, like CR39, which is kind of like a plastic lens. It should be fine for, you know, a really minimal prescription. You can also go with kind of the optical standard, which is also the most impact resistant lens. So we recommend it to children under the age of 18, which is the polycarbonate lens. The polycarbonate lens is generally what I would recommend as a professional to people unless they have a super thick lens prescription. Lastly, you can go with a high index lens. The high index lens is designed for people with a heavy prescription. It's a flatter, lighter, thinner lens. There's not as many aberrations on the sides because it is flatter, so the edges aren't as curved, creating strange images on the sides and distortion. And then the most important thing with the really thick prescription is that the high index lens isn't going to be as thick on the outer edges. And it won't be as heavy, so it won't be as uncomfortable to wear. So those are the different lens material options. You also can choose from glass too, but glass is almost completely outdated. I don't even know where you can get glass lenses anymore. They used to be pretty common, but they're super heavy, and they also had a tendency to shatter, so they weren't super safe. They're great lens material to look out of. In terms of clarity, they're probably the best, but definitely not the safest lens material option. So we figured out the different lens materials. Now we want to talk about whether or not we want them to darken behind when you go out in the sun. So what are transitions? Transitions are activated by UV rays, so they're completely clear inside, and then they get darkened, or they darken when you're outside in direct sunlight. So I have a sunroom here, so I just wanted to show you a little illustration on what transitions are. This is a clear lens. It has a special coating, but it's a clear lens. This is a transition lens. So it didn't darken completely, but with a little bit of exposure, it did darken with UV exposure. So should you get transitions? They're a great comfort lens if you're going to like Six Flags or like a graduation or like barbecuing in the backyard. They really do provide comfort, especially in this really intense weather in Texas with all the sunlight. However, they're not going to substitute as a sunglass. Sunglasses give you additional UV protection, as well as polarized lenses will give you protection from the ozone layer as well. And transitions don't darken behind the windshield of a car because the windshield blocks the UV rays. So if you do any driving, which most of us do, I would highly recommend a pair of sunglasses. Now that we know whether or not we want sunglasses, transitions, or clear lenses, you also might want to consider maybe getting a backup pair. When you don't have a backup pair, which I have 35 pairs of glasses, so obviously I have a couple backup pairs, but when you don't have a backup pair, that's when things happen. It's always good to be considerate as a consumer of your eyes and make sure that they're taken care of, because you don't know when your glasses could drop or break or something weird could happen. So I definitely consider a backup pair, and I definitely would get a pair of sunglasses. The last lens option that I want to talk to you guys about is the anti-glare. You can get a couple different types of anti-glare. The clear anti-glare blocks the reflections from bouncing off your lenses and allows the people that are looking at you to really see your eyes and all the light that you're taking in to be fully transmitted into your eye. There also is a blue anti-glare that blocks the blue rays that are associated with computer fatigue. It's what I have on now. You can kind of see a purplish iridescence in my lenses, and that's because it's blocking the blue rays from entering your eye, repelling off those blue rays, and it should help with like eye strain and headaches if you're on the computer for a long duration of time. I have it on about half my pairs of glasses. The downside of it is it does look kind of purplish when someone's looking with it on, and looking out of it, it looks a little bit more yellow as the eye as the person looking at it. And so if you need your true color perception, I would kind of be a little bit hesitant on getting those lens options. So the frame fit, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the frame fit. The frame fit, before you get your glasses, the frame fit should be evenly distributed across your nose. It shouldn't be bowing out or bowing in. It should be in the back, not too long. You don't want it down to here or too short where the bend comes up too much. And there shouldn't be any gaps right here on the nose. If there is, then they're going to dig in and they're going to slide down a lot. And if you get something that's too big, they're also going to slide down. And if you get something that's too small, they're going to be pushed against your head and also slide down. So those are the primary things that I want you to look at when you're actually getting a pair of frames. Also, when you're getting a pair of frames, generally if you have a more rounded face, you want to get more angled glasses. And if you have a more angled face, you want to get more rounded glasses. So now that you've got your glasses, let's talk about adjustments and what the glasses should look like. So adjustments wise, when you get your glasses, you want to look at several things. When you get glasses with the nose pads, you want to make sure that they're evenly distributed on your nose. If they don't have the nose pads, they're a fixed bridge. You can't do anything about them. So that's why it's important to look at it before you get your glasses. But you want to make sure that they're not digging in or in a weird angle behind your nose. You also want to make sure that they're evenly distributed and just wrapping your ear nice and comfortably, because that's what holds it up. Don't get angry at your eyewear professional if you don't have a perfect pair of glasses initially. Glasses aren't designed to fit perfectly. It's just a standard alignment. So it might take 3 to 5 times for them to really start fitting. Aside from that, just be patient and just wear them. Sometimes it can take 30 days to really fully get acclimated to a new pair of glasses and how you see. Glasses are a big part of 70% of adults' lives. Now that you know just if the glasses are, not just if the glasses are cute, but now you also know if the glasses are the right fit for you. I'm glad to have shared this journey with you. Have a good day.